You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
Hi guys, and welcome to the Supernaturelle show with myself, Jo, and I'm joined this evening with the gorgeous Gemma.
Hi guys.
And we've got the beautiful Kerry back in the studio producing the show for us tonight. So unfortunately our guest has had to cancel the show this evening due to bereavement. So you have the beautiful girls and myself this evening. So we're
Give over, woman.
So we're going to be talking all about Halloween and also what that means to Gemma and I, but we're also want to find out exactly what Halloween means to you. We're going to be discussing bits and pieces, just about what we've been up to and events and what we've been up to this week with regards to our Halloween event and what we've got coming up in the future. So, Gem,
hi.
How's your week been?
It's been well, it's been eventful.
It has been, hasn't it? It's been.
It has, yeah. It's eventful. Will just about sum it up. I mean, obviously, I did the half marathon, and
You
as
did.
you know from last week, that I weren't a happy lady.
You weren't, were you?
It's safe to say I've recovered.
How are the blisters?
They're healing very well.
Okay.
They're not quite gone, but they are getting there.
Do you know what? It's really funny because I was listening to Radio 1 today and Scott Mills did a half marathon at the weekend and he did it in a certain amount of time. But do you know what he said? He said he would have got a quicker time had he have gone to the toilet when he needed to. But do you know what?
I totally agree.
He apologised live on air to the group of girls who had to go in the portaloo after him.
Oh no! Oh bless him. You see, now I totally agree with him. I feel his pain.
Oh, bless you. Well, anyway, enough of that. So Halloween. What are we up to on Halloween weekend?
Well, Halloween weekend, we are at Odstall Hall, aren't we, Jo?
We are, yeah. We've got an amazing night lined up there for everybody. Now, tickets are still available on our website, so you can go through and purchase them on phantasmicparanormal.co.uk, and you get the delightful Gemma, you get myself, and we've got a couple of freebies to give away that night as well. So it's turn up in your best fancy dress outfit if you want to, and we are going to be hosting a paranormal investigation, so it is going to be a night not to be missed.
My fancy dress costume is sorted.
So is mine. Just
I'm going au naturel. Yeah, I'm taking the makeup off for the night. I'm not going to do my hair. Job solved.
I
Might
think
even
I'm gonna
turn up
go
in my pajamas.
I think I'm going to go looking like Hagrid this year, I think.
Hagrid.
Or the
Do you,
ring
do you
lady.
want to
You
be?
know,
Do you want to be a wizard, Harry?
I might just dress up as the ring woman. My hair's that long now that I can probably do that and just literally scare everybody. But that's not what we do on events, though, is it, Gemma?
No, definitely not.
So, how many people have we got in the chat room with us this evening? And if you want to ask any questions, you know, you're more than welcome to ask us.
Yeah, just pop in and have a little chat with us. I have got some details actually, because we was obviously meant to be speaking to the lovely Kelly from the Village Church Farm in Skeg, but unfortunately, as you said, you know, she has had a bereavement. So our thoughts go out to her. We really hope definitely. that you're okay in yourself. But I have got some details, because I did think, you know, this show was meant to be about the Village Church Farm, so it would be rude not to carry on in such awful circumstances, really, bless her.
Yeah, definitely. And we had an amazing event there as well, didn't we?
We did, yeah. I mean, I've done the Village Church Farm quite a few times, because that is quite local to me. It's about an hour up the road, so it really is local. So I've done that quite a few times, and it's very interesting in the Village Church Farm.
I think it was interesting because obviously I'd never been to that venue before at all. So that to me was quite a lot of, as we were walking around, I remember saying to you at some point, going into like the parlour room, I think it was at the front of the building, wasn't it? And saying to you, this wasn't a living room, it was a bedroom as well.
Yeah.
And, you know, stuff like that. We always talk about mediumship and about the paranormal and about things like that. But when you actually see things from the past in, you know, in as it should have been, and you actually get names of these people and, you know, what happened. And it was quite strange, wasn't it? Because there was a couple of us in the group. I mean, obviously myself, but there was somebody else who said they couldn't stop shaking.
Yes, there was. I do. Yeah.
Do you remember that? And
yeah.
Obviously, I went back. I said, I feel like I've had a stroke, or I've got Parkinson's or something. And I remember saying to you on our walk round, I said, I feel really strange. I said, I don't feel very well. And I said, but I've got the name of Edgar. And that was on one of our live streams. And bearing in mind, there's nothing really, there is no documentation of that name, is there?
No, none whatsoever.
However, Kelly had that information, didn't she? And she said nobody's really picked up on him. So that was interesting.
I mean, this is what Kelly was saying when we was there, though, because she does get a lot of mediums through the door. And a lot of mediums tend to pick up on the same spirits.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the more well-known spirits of the Village Church Farm, if you like. And there is like three main ones that most people tend to pick up on. But you picked up on somebody completely different, which very rarely gets picked up on.
Yeah.
I mean, the farmhouse itself, I mean, if you think that it was actually built in 1766.
It's got an enormous amount of history.
Yeah,
then,
that's just the farmhouse itself. That's not including the barn was in the 1800s, and there's that little building as well that they call Mud and Stud. That was 1700s. So the three main buildings on that plot that is the Village Church Farm has been around since the 1700s, really. Which is just, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. And it's been a museum since the 1970s. So it's been a museum for that long.
But you know what? Yeah, I mean, Kelly and her husband were there that night, obviously, when we went there. And to say that building's been standing as long as it has, they've put so much love and so much effort into
Massively. And they, unlike a lot of locations as well, they don't charge the earth to visit either.
No, they're very, very hands-on, and they've got an avid interest anyway, haven't they? In
massively,
the
massively.
So I think that always helps with venues, don't you?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Kelly knows, Naomi does as well. They both do. They both know their stuff when it comes to ghost hunting. They are both avid ghost hunters themselves, and they do their own investigations as well at the village church farm. So the knowledge that they've got around not just the village church farm, but about ghost hunting as well. It's
Yeah,
phenomenal.
that's the thing though, isn't it? Is when you've got somebody who knows everything about that building. I mean, it's like when we walked into is it the World War II memorabilia room, I think it was.
Yes, at the back of the schoolroom.
Yeah, but Kelly's husband, I forget his name now, and it's really rude of me, but I remember him saying to me, "Do you pick up on anybody in here?" And the first things first, I was drawn to the energy of a nurse. And she was in military attire, and she was basically sat there saying, I've got something missing. And she kept talking to me about something missing, and she kept pointing to her shoulder all the time. And I was like, what is it? What have you lost? And then she just said to me, she says, there's something's been taken from this room and I want it back, basically. And it came about, and I kept saying it must be some sort of a button from a lapel or something like that. And Kelly confirmed that a button had been stolen from the venue, and it hadn't been returned. So that is something as well that you can't really pick up on stuff like that. And
no. I mean, the village church farm girls, Kelly and Naomi, they actually have footage as well on the CCTV camera of the door. You know, the door that separates as you enter the schoolroom.
Yeah.
That door, they've got footage of that door actually opening on its own as well.
Wow.
They have actually got that.
We were doing something in the middle of this circle, Mort, myself and yourself as well, inside the main entrance area, weren't we?
Yeah, in the shop entranceway, yeah.
Yeah. And the honestly, the energy that we experienced there was like nothing I've ever experienced in my life.
No, you could feel it, and everybody around us as well could feel it as well. It was like walking into static electricity, really. There's no other way to describe it. It was like walking full force into static.
Yeah, it was amazing though. Absolutely amazing. But I mean, I didn't really investigate many rooms on that night. And I think with any sort of venue that we visit, I always like to go back 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 times.
Yeah.
Just to see if there is anything that I've missed, or if there's anything that we can kind of pick up on. And,
But it's definitely the same as any investigation though, isn't it? How many times do we say you can go 2, 3, 4, 5 times and get something different every time?
Yeah. See, that is the thing though, isn't it? I mean, we have been to quite a few venues, and we know obviously certain venues like, the Ancient Realm will always pick up something totally different every time we go. East Drive, I mean, we've been to East Drive how many times? And
I dread to think.
We've had some really, really rubbish nights, but then we've had some nights where literally the activity's gone off the scale, hasn't it?
Yeah, massively. I mean, you just never quite know what you're going to get. And I suppose that is one of the pulls that always brings me back to going paranormal investigating.
I know.
Because you don't know what you're going to get. It's been a while since...
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was just about to say we've got a private one in a couple of weeks, and it's been such a long time since we've investigated somewhere. I think I might have forgotten what to do.
Yeah, me too. We'll have to read a few magazines before we go.
Yeah, might have to. But yeah, unfortunately, majority of my my equipment has sadly drowned.
Yes, I see that earlier.
Oh, don't.
If we're going to get onto the cost of stuff, the whole cost of equipment for paranormal investigating isn't cheap either, is it?
No, not when you're buying paranormal Puck 2s and Oculus 5s and XSLS cameras, 360-degree cameras, all that sort of stuff. All that adds up. And you know what? When I sat there and I looked at the case, I actually picked it up out of the water and I was like, please God, not in there. And literally I opened it. There was both my spirit boxes in there. I've got one that I cannot physically get again, because it is a Radio Shack one, and they are like rocking horse crap. You cannot find them anywhere, and I am absolutely gutted.
Oh no.
Yeah, and you know, we girls were the second people to do the 360 live cameras, weren't we, down at the Sheffield Fire Museum, and that sadly died a death as well. So I've been trying to test everything today, but you know, hopefully, touch wood, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Well, apparently so they say. I'm still waiting to find that one out, to be honest.
Yeah, but you know what? I do actually think we are due some good luck though now.
Well, there's only so much so much bad luck one person can go through before karma, life, whatever you want to call it, says, do you know what? I'm going to be nice to you for a while.
Yeah. But you know what? Karma has got such a good way of bringing itself back round, hasn't it? As well?
Oh, yeah, massively. Kaz Rooney is in the chat room, and she said that East Drive is a weird house. She spent 3 days in there last year. Wow. I did 48 hours, Kaz. I have no idea how you spent 3 days. I was pulling my hair out by the end of the 48 hours.
See, what do people actually do in there for 3 days? I suppose you could, you know, you can hook up the, you know, your infrared cameras and video everything all day and all night. But can you imagine how long it is going to take to go through all of that footage?
Yes, Joe, I've still got it. I've still not been through it all.
Oh, goodness.
And I was only there for 2 days.
But do you know what? How weird is that, though, Gemma? Because we have infrared CCTV, don't we, that we put up at every single location. The last time we went there, for some reason, it wouldn't work. I actually tested that when I got home, and guess what?
Did it work?
It works perfectly fine.
No.
Well, it did do. Until it drowned.
Until it had a swim. And now it's been for a swim. It's not overly forthcoming.
Let's just say it can't breaststroke anymore, and it can't backstroke, and I think it just dived in and just decided that it weren't going to work. But do you know what? I need to laugh, because if I don't laugh, I will cry. Exactly.
Kaz just said that it was great. She gave Kerry a fright, though, when she randomly called her.
Oh, did you go too, Kerry? Oh, bless her. She's sat nodding to me in the studio. She's like, no.
Sorry, my mic was off there. I was like answering away, and I thought, oh, they can't actually hear me. No, I was at home, and Kaz just sort of like messaged me through, and I was like, are you okay? Is everything okay?
Oh, bless you. I mean, that is a weird place. That really is. I mean, you never know what you're going to get in there, dear. Let's be realistic. No. I have been there and the doors opened a few times. I mean, it nearly hit you once.
We were in the living room, weren't we? And I was sat on that was the second time the door opened and nearly hit me. I was sat on the sofa the first time, and we were just trying to get stuff up on the Echo box. And I remember, just out of nowhere, we were all sat in the living room, and the front door handle into the French doors, you could actually see it open and just open slightly, but then it slammed shut with some brute force, that did. And Carrie, bless her, do you remember when she got pushed out of the chair as well?
Yes.
I'd
forgotten about that.
Somebody's pushing me, and I was like, oh, here we go, we've got one. But I knew then that she wouldn't have made that up. But Carrie knows anyway. Carrie knows what I'm like, and she always says, oh, you know what, oh, we've got one. But I think until you've experienced that, it is quite frightening, because I think she was frightened, weren't she?
Oh, well, quite rightly so. I don't think I know many people who wouldn't have been. Hayes Buckley, is in the chat room, and she says, has anybody been to the park?
Ooh. Now, I've never been to the Park Hotel. We were supposed to be there.
We was supposed to be going.
However, unfortunately, we have been double booked, so we will be arranging a new night in the new year. So those tickets that have been purchased for the park, we'll be able to reuse them on that date. So But the park, what do you make of the park, Gemma?
I'm not sure. I know it's recently just been on. That's very helpful, Gemma, isn't it? You know,
Have you got
what's it
memory
just been on?
block?
Yeah, what's it just been on?
Most.
No. Yes, it was. It was locked down. Yes, it was, Kerry. Thank you. It's
Ooh.
just recently been on there, and I watched it, and it looks amazing. But
So
I
is
want
that
to.
with Nick Groff and
Yes,
Katrina?
yeah. I want to reserve judgment and see for myself, purely because what one person's getting, another person may not. Everybody's
Exactly.
individual, so I want to go and I want to see for myself and I want to experience it. But that is one of the places that I've not yet been, and I've said it 1,000 times. I've been so lucky in my career as a paranormal investigator that I've been to so many locations, and not just once either. I've been a few times to quite a lot of locations, so I'll always be grateful for that.
I
But
think
the park is one place that I've never been, and it intrigues me. And when you think it's 8 floors of a disused hotel,
that's just amazing in itself, isn't it?
8 full floors. Can you imagine? You can send noisy people one side and serious investigators the other side, and you can still have plenty of room to go and investigate. That is something that you don't get very often.
But it's nice that you can sleep there as well. That's an even better thing.
See, I love sleeping in haunted locations, or supposedly haunted locations. It's like, I mean, Nick and Katrina, bless them. You know, I love their style of hunting. They go in and they lock themselves in, and they are there.
It is a good way of actually making sure that you know you don't lose any evidence and things like that. But yeah, question.
Oh, easy there, Tiger.
Yeah. Do you actually think that they get locked in for 3 full days?
See, I really want to say yes, but I think that's just like the believer in me that wants to believe that a famous person would actually put themselves through that. If I'm being honest, do I believe that they stay there? No, I don't. I believe that they go to a lovely hotel and they have a nice hot shower and they have a nice full English breakfast.
Do you know what? It was really funny because I watch it and I was looking at it thinking to myself, why do they always look so fresh?
Yeah.
Why do they always look like they've got clean clothes on when we go paranormal investigating, we've got dust everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. And I have slept at Drakelow Tunnels, and they've done a Drakelow Tunnels recently too. And I have actually slept there. I mean, 10 out of 10 to them, because they actually brought beds. We actually slept on the manky mattresses that have been in Drakelow Tunnels for God knows how many years, that had fur growing off them. So, you know, we proper bunked on down, and it was like, I was dead proud of myself. I'm made of tough stuff. It's got to be said. I can put myself through that in the name of investigating.
Yeah. So
but it's safe to say I didn't look like them after my hours in Drakelow Tunnels.
No, exactly. And that's I think that's the beauty of TV, isn't it? You know, you never actually look like crap on TV. I think, you know, I'm just gonna put it out there. I've seen me when I've been up all night on an investigation and coming out of bloody, you know, Mill Street Barracks at 8 o'clock in the morning, feeling like death warmed up,
hair sticking up. I think we did actually look like Hagrid that morning, Joe, to be fair.
But do you know what? When you actually walk out, you actually feel like you've been out on the tiles and you've got the serious hangover. And I just think, if only I could have been drinking.
Yeah, well, yeah, if only nice gin would go down really well at the end of an investigation. It's got to be said. But no, I mean, they do come out looking too well groomed to be staying in these locations. It's got to be said.
Yeah.
But a part of me still really wants to believe that they do it.
Yeah.
Bless my little cotton socks for that. I do. I just really want to believe that they're doing it because they're selling that they are. So why would you false advertise?
Yeah, there is that as well. But On to the next subject. That we are quite, we do get a little bit risque on our topic.
I mean, to be fair though, Joe, you actually know Nick. Can you not just ask him?
I've actually been on set before, but I'm not going to shatter anything because.
Well, I've been on the sets and I've seen things being filmed, and
yeah.
I know the score. I'm not stupid enough to think otherwise, but
I know Nick. Yeah,
can we not just do this for me, just to make me feel better?
You know what I think we should do? I think we should get Katrina on the show one week.
Go for it.
I think we should get her on the show and ask her these questions. How do you look so fresh when you've done an event for 2 whole days, Katrina? I think because
I'm sure it's not the woolly hat that's keeping her hair from looking like Hagrid.
No, I don't think it will.
Real girls' issues right there. That's what that is.
But yeah, it's pretty hardcore though. 3-day investigation.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. Not places that I've been to a million times, don't get me wrong, but somewhere new that I've not been. By all means, lock me in for 3 days. Just leave me provisions and I'll be a very happy lady.
Yeah, definitely. I think the park would be ideal, wouldn't it?
Oh, massive. I would be in my element being in there, without a doubt. It's just all that space. I just can't believe that. But again, it goes back to what we were saying last week, Joe, about all these beautiful locations that are just left to rot. Yeah. What an absolute shame.
And then we sat there, didn't we? And we talked about, obviously, these young kids that don't have any respect and, who go into these buildings and vandalize them and things like that. And, going off topic now about places where we want to investigate. There are loads of places, abandoned hospitals and like the Denby Asylum and places like that I would love to go to.
Yeah.
But it's just everything's so derelict, everything's so dangerous, and whoever owns it could actually make a really, really good conscious effort to actually repair these buildings if they made them safe and if they actually made them available to people to go and investigate, if obviously the health and safety element of it was right.
Yeah. I mean, that is where you have the biggest issues, isn't it? Health and safety.
Yeah, definitely.
Kaz is still in the chat room, and she's just said that East Drive, that's actually for charity, that event.
Really?
So, yeah, just drop a link in, Kaz. How do people go about booking, etc.?
Ooh, I think I might have to book on that myself, I think.
And Hayes is saying that there is no sleeping in those rooms.
Which rooms?
In the park.
Really? I wonder why that
See,
is
that
then.
makes me want to go even more.
Yeah, I wonder why that is then.
Hayes, if you're still listening, can you just drop in and say no and explain why there's no sleeping in the rooms? And while we're on, I'm just in the chat room. So hi to Carl Hutchinson. Are you okay, lovey? Kaz is with us. Hi, Kaz. Hi, Hayes. Hi, Pam. Hi, Ross. Hi, Annette. Hi, Kerry. We've got a few people in the chat room tonight, so feel free to jump in, guys. Kaz actually asked us a question early on, and I appear to have missed it. I do apologise, Kaz. But she wants to know the most embarrassing Halloween costume.
Oh, God.
Mine's just my natural face.
I was just about to say, it was like, I don't even think I've really had any embarrassing ones, to be honest.
Oh, actually, I do apologise. East Drive is not for charity. It's the EAPI Halloween ball that is for charity. Do you want to drop a link in for that, Gary? Sorry, Joe. So your most embarrassing Halloween costume?
I don't think I've ever had one, to be honest. Because
have you not had a wardrobe malfunction?
Oh, constantly. I have them all the time, don't I? No, it's to be honest, I love Halloween anyway. And those people who are on my friends list on my Facebook will know just how much I love Halloween, because last year I was so giddy. I had 2 projectors with all the haunted like children and things like that in the windows, and I made
You can't call your children haunted.
Well, I could do. But the children and I decorated pumpkins, and we lined them all up with coloured lights on the inside. And people who come to this part of my village, they come because they know that the house is always going to be decorated up for fun. And
yeah,
it's just great. And I remember last year there was this little girl, she was only about 2 or 3, and she was screaming because she wanted to see the ghost all the time. And her mum kept saying to her, "You need to go home. You need to go home." And she kept saying, "I want to stay and look at the people. The people keep going." So she was really, really cute. But the amount of messages that I got on Facebook to say your house looked amazing, and I think this year I need to kind of outdo myself again from last year.
So you do tend to go all out for Halloween, don't you?
Yeah, I do, and I do love Halloween. It's my favorite time of year as well. So this year is going to be no exception.
See, I love Halloween, but do you know what I don't love? There is a but. There's always a but, isn't there? What I don't like is people dressing up as clowns. There really is no need. Please, people, do not do it. You would not believe the anxiety that can instill in people. Let's just be kind to one another and not dress up.
Oh, you give me such an idea now.
Oh, no. So my most embarrassing Halloween costume, I don't think it's a costume at all that is the embarrassing bit about it. But for me, there is always an embarrassing story, isn't there? Let's be honest. It's me we're talking about. I've had a wardrobe malfunction where the skirt has actually been tucked into my knickers, and I've been off investigating with my knickers and my bum on show. I think
sounds like a normal Saturday night. That
yeah. Yeah, but this is with no alcohol, so obviously it is a little bit embarrassing in a room full of people. Like, Gemma, is there something wrong with your costume? No, it's just tucked into my knickers, isn't it?
You just remind me of that advert. It was so funny. But no, I don't know. I think the only thing that I tried to do one year is, you used to get those, those fake vampire teeth that you can actually skip over and mold
yes.
your own. I remember putting a couple of those in, and trying to get those out was an absolute nightmare. I thought I'm going to be stuck with these vampire teeth in. But
did they get stuck, or did you get them out?
I did get them stuck, and when you're having that heart attack, panicking and thinking, I can't get them off. I was like
bless
that,
you.
literally, and I was like, I literally had my mouth in like more or less like boiling hot water, trying to melt whatever it was that I'd tried to mold them onto my own teeth, and what a nightmare.
I think we should throw this one back up, Kaz. What's your most embarrassing Halloween costume, Kaz? And Hayes is in the chat room, and she said you can sleep in some of the rooms with working, but they have working cameras running, and it's just something that makes your skin feel like it's crawling and makes you feel dirty. So there's actually like cameras in the rooms, Hayes, like CCTV. Oh, I'm not quite sure how I'd feel about that. I mean, it's one thing to have cameras following you, but another watching you. It's like Big Brother, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think I'd quite like to get myself undressed into my pajamas.
No, and Hayes is going to Golden Fleece in York for 2 nights in the Minster Suite. She's breaking her hubby's paranormal virginity. Go on, Hayes. Yes, This is what we like. People that have not been on paranormal investigations going as? No. Going on events.
I actually said that I'm going to take Mark on a paranormal investigation.
I think Mark would run quicker than Usain Bolt.
Do you know what? I don't think he will,
Oh, I think he will.
I think, no, he doesn't scare that easily. So I'm probably, I think,
But the guys who don't scare that easily, as a rule, tend to absolutely brick it.
Oh yeah, but I've got faith in him. He is, he is a bit of a rugged type, so I'm guessing he'll be all right. But yeah,
Kaz has just said that she once dressed up as a dark angel, but it was too booby, and that's all she's gonna say.
is she popping out then?
Oh, Kaz, bless you.
I love her. I love Kaz. She's so funny, bless her. And
I mean, let's be realistic though. The last thing you want is your puppies popping out, isn't it?
puppies. Oh my God, I've heard it all now. I've heard it all now.
Nathan Clark's just joined us in the chat room. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
How did your lone vigil go at the Ancient Ram Inn, love?
Yeah, I'm sure it went okay for the boys, but Nathan tried, didn't he?
Did you survive?
Yeah, Nathan tried to get everybody to vote for Brian, didn't he? But unfortunately, backfired on him, and he ended up doing it himself. So, note to Nathan.
Yeah.
Do not.
Better look next time.
Don't tell people to vote for Brian because they'll vote for you.
Oh no, Kaz has just made me absolutely howl. I'm so sorry, that was so unprofessional. But Gary Bradfield just said, I bet there was loads of eye popping, Kaz, and Kaz says, and hand slopping.
Okay, it's not that sort of show this evening.
Oh no, the chat room is on fire tonight. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us.
I know it's nice there. The chat room's a hive of activity this evening. I actually can't see because I'm useless at Well, I'm not useless at technology, but I'm pretty crap at multitasking. She says with a laptop open, trying to look at the chat room, and I can't do it.
No, I mean, I can't say it enough. It was an unexpected, unavoidable. I can't speak. Unavoidable. That obviously Kelly can't join us tonight, so we are just improvising. But as they say, the show must go on, and here we are waffling away.
As we do.
Yeah.
So come on then, Gemma. Where is your favourite go-to venue that you have never been to overseas?
Run that by me again. My go-to location that I've never been to.
Where would you want to go?
That I've never been overseas.
Overseas, yeah.
Alcatraz, without doubt.
Or
Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah. I
really want to go to Chernobyl too.
Do you not think that's really macabre though, going there?
Yes, but I still want to go.
I know. I want to go to Auschwitz.
Oh, definitely Auschwitz. Oh, there's just so many.
There are so many, and I'd love to go to Alcatraz. So yeah, maybe that's going to be, I don't know. But there's so many places in like France and places like that, like the catacombs in Paris.
Oh, I'd love to do the catacombs. How cool would that be?
I know, it looks amazing, doesn't it?
The only problem that I would have with that is I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so I would start to feel a bit panicky, but I'm sure I'd be absolutely fine.
I'm sure you would. But anyway, I went to watch a film the other night. Well, actually, not last Sunday, the Sunday before.
You went to watch a film?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whether to high-five you or ask where you're going with this, to be fair, Jo.
Now, I went to watch the prequel to The Conjuring. So,
right.
The Nun.
Okay. And what did you think to The Nun?
Oh, do you know what? It kind of such a letdown.
Really? I've heard so many mixed reviews that I've not actually been to see it yet because I don't quite want to get my hopes up to be dashed.
To be honest with you, Gemma, it's probably wait for it to come out on Sky TV because it was just so, I don't know how, without spoiling it for you, it was just so stupid.
Did you not at least spill your popcorn at least once?
No.
Oh.
Mark's going to be chuckling now because I think I jumped at one thing and it was a door banging and I think that was it, and it was just like, oh, is that it?
And was
But
it the actual door to the cinema that banged?
quite possibly. Didn't help when Mark sat there either, like yawning and trying to fall asleep as well during it.
No.
Yeah, but
Well, that obviously doesn't bode well. Anybody in the chat room, if you've seen The Nun, what did you think, guys?
I don't know. It's just, when you watch The Conjuring and then you watch The Conjuring 2, I had such high hopes for it because both of those films were absolutely cracking. And then all of a sudden, it was like, nah, rubbish.
Well, I thought Insidious was good. And then
The Last Key.
It got boring. And I was like, I'm a bit disappointed.
Yeah.
See, I liked bits of The Conjuring, but I didn't like it all.
No,
and the stories don't quite add up either. They're not quite right. And I don't like that. If you're going to do a film on something, at least make sure that it is 100% factual.
Yeah, I think with them all, though, they're not meant to be factual, are they? They're meant to take snippets of real life things happened and then they add to them, which is obviously what their screenplay is all about.
Well, then make it scary.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, to be honest, would I go and watch again? Nah, I probably will watch it again on my own.
It's like the Darren Brown ghost train at Thorpe Park. When you first go into that, it's like Darren's discussing what being scared is and about the emotions that come with being scared. And he's like, if you scare easy, just shut your eyes. And I'm like, no, keep your eyes open. You don't know what you're missing if you shut your eyes. You should never shut your eyes.
That was the first time I ever went on that ghost train, when we went and we'd been in the hotel bar till stupid o'clock in the morning. Don't ever do that, people, if you go into a theme park. It was horrendous. But anyway, I sat there and I remember having hold of Gemma's hand, thinking to myself, I wonder what's going to happen. And then somebody touched my knees and it was like, okay, okay. As long as it's just my knees, we're all right. And then somebody went past my feet and I was like, I can cope with that. And then somebody touched my arms and I was like, it's getting closer. It's getting closer. I don't like this. And then, because you can't see anything and you're sort of like looking round, and I've got hold of Gemma's hand, but she's not even sat at the side of me. So that was what I couldn't get my head round. Strange.
It is very, very strange. But if you've not been, that is something else that you have at least got to try at least once in your life.
Yeah, definitely. And we need to go back. We haven't been.
Well, we actually defaced the wall.
We did.
In Thorpe Park. If you have a look in the Darren Brown's ghost train as you're waiting to board at the station, if you like, if you have a look on the wall, it will say Phantasmic Paranormal. Don't quite know how it got there. It must have been paranormal.
Well,
definitely wasn't my eyeliner.
How funny is this? Because Mark must be listening to this radio show, because he's just messaged me and said that the film was utter. And I can't repeat what he said live, obviously,
Mark,
on the radio.
You cannot text that message.
So he said, it was utter beep.
Oh, well, that's spoiled it for me, really, because there's not been a good horror that I've seen for a while that's made me tingle with excitement, if you like. All I can see is Kerry's face now. Anybody that's listening, tingling. You know what it's all about, Joe. You know when you're on a ghost hunt and you can feel something near you, and your body just goes all goose pimply, and you get that shiver, and it's like, ooh, I'm missing
all the time
that
at home. It's called not putting the heating on.
I'm scared of the cold. There's no way I'm doing that.
Honestly.
Carl's in the chat room and he's just said that he's going out investigating for the first time in 2 years. Carl, we need more details.
Oh, bless him. What, he's going out investigating? I thought he'd been with us in Northampton.
Yeah, well, Carl works, doesn't he? He helps UK Haunted. He works with UK Haunted. But I think what he actually means is, and correct me if I'm wrong, please, Carl, but I think what he means is he's actually going to do his own investigation rather than being working with people.
That's fab, though. Fair play to him if he's doing that. That's.
But again, for any paranormal investigator that goes out with and runs events, it's not the same as doing your own investigation. You don't put as much into it.
No, I think, that's the one thing that I am missing at the moment, because we haven't done an event for quite a while now. But it's kind of the whole buzz about it, me getting like visions and things like that 3 days before, and I'm sat there ringing you saying, I've got this bloke with me, I've got that woman with, what the hell am I going to do? What is she wanting? And it's just literally the buzz up to it is just,
massively. I'm missing it too. I'm definitely missing being out there. I've not been out for not as long as you actually, Joe, bless you, because I've obviously had Manby up the road. That was my go-to place, or Skidbrook Church, which again is very close to my house. So I used to just pop off there.
Stop talking about skids and popping off and things like that, because honestly, it's just every time you say it, because obviously me and you speak every single day without fail, and we have some of the most hilarious conversations about the most random things, and you saying stuff like that, I just can't help but laugh. So you've got to.
Well, I can't really change the name of it, can I? I think its actual name is St Bartholomew's, I do believe. I could be wrong. So is that better, St Bartholomew's, rather than Skidbrook?
Yeah, Skidbrook.
Yeah.
I'm really messy. Oh, dearie me. But I mean, there's loads of places, isn't there? I mean, I want to start investigating Scotland a little bit more as well, because we went to Stirling Old County Jail a couple of weeks ago, probably about a month ago now. And it was really strange, because I was talking about somebody called William that was there, and it was like an actress. She was like taking us round the old jail, and the tour itself is around about £6.50 for an adult. But it's so informative, and it is so like fast paced. I mean, this girl, she must take on, she's like something out of Split. She's like James McAvoy, literally. She was just 1 minute she was like this lovely lady, and the next minute she was this wench. She was like smacking people and all the rest of it. But we went there, and the first room that we went into, we actually found out that the William who had basically said his name was William to me was the actual person who, I can't remember whether he ran the jail or whether he built the jail. So that was interesting. But there are some amazing places up in Scotland, and I want to do Nidri Street vaults as well.
Yes. There. Well, that will be coming, Joe.
Woohoo!
That will all be coming.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? We need to get Halloween out the way now, and then we need to kind of get back into the swing of getting the whole venues and things like that up to date. And we need to crack on next year. We've got a busy year next year.
Kaz has said that we can go home with her, and she's going to show us loads of places, because obviously Kaz is from Scotland.
Oh, fab.
Yeah, and Carl is saying that he's going to a fort, and he's going to be in there for 5 hours all to himself. Carl, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I think Carl's got that bang on. And I think one day, Gem, I think just me and you need to go somewhere and just hole ourselves up, like a bit of a paranormal lockdown for me and you, but just the girls, and see. I
think if somebody was to lock us in, Joe, I don't think they'd ever let us out.
Well, I think they would do.
I think they'd be like, you two can just stay there. The men in the white coats will be along shortly.
I kind of like to think I'd be missed, if I'm honest, but then again, might be the best place for me at the moment, with a straight jacket and something else.
No, you need armbands at the minute.
I need more than armbands, mate.
And Lilo, will that do?
I want a rubber ducky in there.
Nathan's just said that he's going to lock us in. I bet he would. I bet Nathan would take great pleasure in locking us in somewhere and leaving us.
The ancient ram, hey Nathan. But
Drake-Clow.
I think we need to get out with some of these other paranormal groups and get back into, start networking again like we used to do, because we haven't done that for a while either, have we?
No, I mean, to be fair, with life, sometimes it gets in the way. But I used to avidly make sure that I booked on and went as a guest at least once every 2 months to other people's events, purely just so I could enjoy the night.
Well, we've got a private investigation, haven't we, coming up
Oh, I
on the
can't wait
20th,
for
I think
that.
it is. So yeah, that's going to be really epic. Is that? I can't wait for that. So we'll have to see what happens there, but we will be back on there on the Monday, won't we? So
Yes.
we can kind of hope that our guest cancels before then, and hopefully we'll be able to just go on about it. But
Well, by all accounts, that place sounds amazing. Carl's just said that he's got 5 hours of testing new equipment and doing his own little investigation, and he's testing a new drone, and he can't wait.
oh, I'm really jealous now.
Well, a drone is something that I've never really used, if I'm honest. The reason for that is, and it's got nothing to do with the technical side of things, but I can't even drive a remote control car. So who would be silly enough to let me loose with a drone? I can't. A remote control car, not my car. I can drive my car. It's only got one bump on it.
Don't you dare lie, Gemma. You bumped your bumper in the first week that you got that.
Oh, I
brand new
did.
car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Of course, I did. Yeah. It's not a new car unless you christen it, is it?
Or crunching it, as you so rightly put it. But we are, honestly. But no, I think we definitely need to start going out. And I mean, we're talking about drones and things like that. We've got obviously that sort of equipment, but it's obviously now we need to get it sorted.
Yeah, well, it's not safe in my hands anyway, as we well know. I've just quite openly said, do not ever let me loose with a very expensive piece of equipment, such as a drone, because I will crash it. It's safe to say.
You will not be not being let loose with it then.
Handheld equipment, absolutely fine. Something that you have to remote control, do not let me loose with it. It's not safe. But at least I'm honest enough to say that.
Well, you are, yeah, there is that. So
unless you've got a really hefty insurance policy and you want a new one, and then by all means let me loose.
No chance. I've had enough of insurance companies. I've had enough of loss adjusters. I've had enough of people pumping water out of my house and then repumping it back in. I was like, oh yeah, just do that.
Why are they pumping it back in?
Oh, because when I spoke to the people who were pumping the water out of my basement, for anybody who doesn't know, and they're not on my Facebook, I had about 3.5 inches of water in my basement that is fully tanked out. Been there for about a week and a half before they decided to come out and remove the water. Now, what the Bright Donut did is I have a gully at the side of my front patio, at the side of my front door. So the Bright Donut decided that he was going to soak my stairs carpet from the basement all the way through. So began to stink like I would never want to smell anything like that again. And then pump it into the rainwater gully that's at the front of my house, which then feeds into the landfill.
Goes straight back down.
And then it came straight back down through the drain and straight back up through the sump pump. So Joe's thinking to myself on Friday, this is great, this is. I've got a floor I can actually walk round. And unbeknownst to me, by 4:30 Saturday afternoon, Joe's like, oh, there's more water in there now. There's not just 3 inches of water, there's now 4.5 inches of water.
Oh, no. You could start hiring it out for a swimming pool, though, to be fair.
Yeah, pool party with the bar in the corner. Just can't use no electric, so we'd have no music. So it'd be more like a sing-song or something like that. Just bring your unicorn round next time.
I think people would pay me to stop singing, if I'm honest. I've heard myself, it's not the best.
But yeah. Oh, you're actually quite good. I think I remember hearing you once. Haven't I?
I possibly. Well, you quite often in the car with me, and I do like to sing in the car.
Oh, we have a good crack in the car, don't we? It's for those
Carl said that he had to sign a very long document. It was like War and Peace.
That's
Was
quite
that so you would be
active
allowed to be let
report.
loose with a drone?
Oh,
Oh dear.
be interesting to see what he captures then on that drone.
Yeah,
and-
Carly, are you going to publish the footage that you receive, or is this purely just for yourself?
He's pretty cool, is Carl. I'm guessing he will publish the footage.
I'm thinking he will. I mean, Kaz has hit the nail on the edge. She said that the best person to test it is Carl, and to be fair, I quite agree.
Yeah, Carl's a good investigator. We've been on quite a lot with him, haven't we? So it's
And
nice to
Nathan-
find new equipment though as well.
Oh, of course it is. Of course it is. I mean, what was the last new piece of equipment that you had, Joe?
Oh my God. I bought a Radio Shack radio that I was going to manipulate into a spirit box myself. So not a massive spirit box. It was only tiny, like a little hockey puck. But it was a case of trying to get it open to be able to stick the pin in so that it would actually sweep properly. But I already had one, and I actually undid that with a view to having a look and seeing what I could do with it. But you know me, if I think I can do something, I'll have a go at it.
Yeah.
Well, fixed my washing machine, didn't I, with a bit of help. So, you know, how hard is it really to kind of do a spirit box? Well, that's what I thought anyway. But I do actually need to have a look at that and see if I can do anything with it. That's my job, I think.
Is that your task?
Yeah. And you know what? I'm quite liking the idea of designing a piece of equipment now as well. You know, something that nobody's really seen before.
See, that would be nice.
I think it'd be awesome, but it's obviously trying to find out. I know what I want to do, but it's how to put that thought down onto a piece of paper, then to find out the actual item that I want to.
And then it's making it as well, isn't it? I mean, let's be realistic. I mean, I know a lot of people in the paranormal world, and I know people that have made some amazing pieces of equipment. But then I also know of people that have started using a laptop and said, "Oh, look at this, it's amazing." Well, no, it's not. It's a laptop, and you didn't exactly invent it, did you? Do you know what I mean? Let's be realistic. But definitely, I think the paranormal world could do with some new equipment.
Yeah,
Some fresher, updated.
Yeah,
I've seen a few bits.
Yeah, I think obviously, like the paranormal investigation side, it all tends to be electrical, and it all tends to be, you know, this like for argument's sake, like a geobox.
Yeah.
Geobox is just a glorified spirit box, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I've got a radio in my kitchen that I can quite aptly use as a spirit box, which is dead easy, and it is as clear as day. However, I can't call it a geobox because we've not put little pedals in there to
No.
You can't do that. But then I think to myself, what about these old Victorian methods that they used to use years and years ago that haven't been tried and tested in the modern day? So trying to find those books from way back when, you know, all these witchcraft books and all these books when we used to conjure things. And do you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
what actually happened in those seances, you know, for them to be able to produce ectoplasm like they did.
That was just on Ghostbusters.
Oh, don't shatter my don't shatter my dreams now. Bloody hell.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Do you know what it is? It's because we've not got a guest on. I tend to get a little bit naughty when we've not got a guest on. I shouldn't be allowed let loose.
No, you are quite funny though, to be fair. I mean, I
do have my moments.
But no, do you not think though? I mean, they used to say that ectoplasm and things like that were parlor tricks way back when. But how on earth did a parlor trick turn into something that could produce ectoplasm, even if it was ectoplasm? And what is ectoplasm anyway?
That's it, I've lost it. Typical Joe style, goes on a massive rant and then just turns around and says, but what is it anyway? And on that note, guys, it really is the end of the show. Thank you so much for being so interactive in the chat room tonight. It is very, very much appreciated. Don't forget, there is shows on just about every single night of the week, 9 p.m, Spreaker, Parasearch Radio, and you can find us on Twitter, Facebook. We have our own personal Instagrams and over on YouTube. So don't forget, guys, click, like, share and subscribe. Thanks for listening.
See you later, guys.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.